Raise your fists together. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody.
Red and yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. Everybody, somebody. Stop the violence. Save the children. Stop bullying. Save the children.
Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. You can make it. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Welcome, 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 and good morning, everyone, to the National Rainbow Push Coalition. Give yourselves a hand this morning. We appreciate you all. Thank you all for being here with us this morning. This morning, you're in for a very special treat. Gotham City, or golden opportunity. Think about that for a second as we get ready for this esteemed panel. We have for you today talking about rescuing our children from the violence. We're all very concerned about that, right, family? All of us, right? We're so excited that you're here. It's only going to happen because we make it happen, because we are our own solution. Without further ado, I want to introduce to some and let them talk about themselves as well. These are our people from our community that are on the grounds, that are doing the work consistently. They care, they sacrifice, they love, and they are here with us this morning to share. Those of you watching live, please pay close attention. Miss Englewood, Barbie, please share for those who don't know who you are and how you came into this work.
I do not know how to make a long story short. Hey, y'all, good morning. I just do what needs to be done. I follow my spirit. I got started in 2015, 2 weeks after my mom overdosed on heroin. I started my organization. It was because Tyshawn Lee was murdered. Oh, sorry. I thought you was talking to me. My bad, y'all. Sorry. I didn't have any answers when that little boy was lured into the alley and shot in the head like he did something wrong. But I did know the end that I wanted to be a part of the solution. I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know which way to go or how to do anything. I just did what I wanted to do, and somehow God just blessed it and allowed it to work. And because I seen the success in, like, even with just me galvanizing the youth and doing events and making sure they eat and get their hair cut and have uniforms and things of that nature, the success behind that, it fueled me to keep going and keep searching for answers and resources. So I've been on the ground running since 2015. I won't stop. Now I mentor students in Lynn Bloom, Earl Elementary, and Simeon. So whenever God gives me an opportunity to reach back to the youth, I never take it lightly. I never take it for granted, because they really are our future. Like, people always say that, but it's the truth. The kids hold everything in the palm of their hands. So we have to be mindful of what we teaching them and what we exposing them to. So, like, with my children, like my kids out here right now, I don't force them into the things that I do, but I expose them to it so that they know. Because I would hate for them to resent this work, because this is God's work. So I would hate for them to resent it because this is what their mama loves to do. But I do give them the opportunity to choose what they want to be a part of. So I think that we need to, be open-minded when it comes to the youth and just everything that they're dealing with, because they also deal with stuff. Just because they ain't paying bills and going to work every day don't mean that they don't deal with stuff, and we need to really pay attention to that. So as a community organizer, I try to shed a light on many different things that I'm involved in, and youth is definitely one of them.
Well, thank you so much. You all can clap for Englewood Barbie in the building this morning. I remember it's been over 15 years ago, when you came into the office, and the late, great Rev.Dr. Leon Finney said, Sister Afrika, come on now, she's in the building, you gotta do something with her. And you were just working on hugs, not slugs. So again, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. We're so proud of you. And you are exactly who you say you are. You're doing the work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We want to also welcome, family, this brother who you need to know. Please pull out your phones and take notes. Please pay attention, those listening and watching live. This brother is doing a lot of work in the healing space. We need healing, is that right? Oh, we need healing. We need to understand mental health and the capacity of there. Please welcome Brother Nino Brown.
Peace and blessings to you all. Ramadan Mubarak. My name is Nino Brown, and I'm a Minister of Information with Healthy Hood Chicago. Shout out to Healthy Hood. And we're based out of the southwest side of Chicago in Pilsen. And, you know, I kind of personally got into this work since 2012 after Trayvon Martin was murdered. And, you know, kind of seeing his life and my life and thinking about the ways in which we are not organized enough to protect our young people. Also, I'm a former elementary school educator, and I've lost, you know, one of my students to gun violence, what I call horizontal violence, intercommunal violence. We at Healthy Hood Chicago were very inspired by the legacy of the Black Panther Party. We understand that churches and the institution of religion, it can go two ways, right? It can be for liberation or it can be for subjugation. And we know that a lot of young people today, they are leaving the church space. In Healthy Hood, what we try to do is we try to heal that hurt that people have and try to give them as many different avenues to really develop themselves. So we have programs for dancing, programs for young people to get jobs and learn about their own history, because really we believe there needs to be a cultural shift, a cultural revolution, so that the minds of our young people can be changed, right? And the violence that we do amongst ourselves, we see it as violence done to ourselves, right? And not just among ourselves. So there are many things I could say about Healthy Hood and what we do, but we really take a holistic approach to trying to solve crime at the root cause through healing spaces, through wellness, and bringing a revolutionary perspective to spirituality and religion. Because church, I mean, all of this happens within a church, but it's not only just the ABC cookie cutter church template. So I'm really grateful to be here with you all and talk to you all about the things that I know and my experiences and what Healthy Hood's perspective is. And peace be on to all of you. And thank you again for showing up today.
Thank you so much for being here. We cannot talk about violence without talking about root causes. Children aren't born violent. No one comes out the womb wanting to be a killer, violent, angry. Talk to us about root causes, Englewood Barbie, and your own experience and how you came to know violence.
I'm going to speak from a troubled youth standpoint because I was a troubled youth. I was the one that was like the black sheep of the family. I was the one that was, you know, always in trouble. And for me, violence started in my mind because I was so isolated from everybody because of things that I was doing. But nobody really cared to ask me, why was I doing this? Why was I behaving this way? So I really feel like when people say it starts at home, it's not just, oh, you need to have a good father and a good mother to make sure that your kids come out right. It's more, it's deeper than that, because I did have a good mother. I didn't have attention. We don't give our children the proper attention that they need. Therefore, they go in the streets and get it. And when they go in the streets and get it, it's not for you to gauge what that looks like. Because if I'm yearning for something, if I'm yearning for sisterhood, if I'm yearning for a father figure, and I got somebody in the street that makes me feel like they love me, it's easy for them to make me do something that they need done, and me feeling like I'm doing something good for them because they love me. We create that space in our kids that makes them feel like they have to go out there and get that. We are not always like conscious of that because we feel like we're doing everything that we could. But I think the first thing that we need to do is start asking our kids questions. Get into their mind, get into their life, and figure out what it is that they have going on, because I would hate for you to be the parent that thinks your child is so perfect and they killing people, you know, and you got to find out about this on the news. You didn't even know your kid. So I feel like as a parent of a 14-year-old boy and a 12-year-old daughter, it's my responsibility to get to know my child. There should be nothing that the school could tell me about my kid that I don't already know. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we need to spend more time doing that, because that's where it really all starts. It starts with what you lack as a parent, because they have to go out there and find it in the streets. I found a lot of things out in the streets that I wasn't getting at home. And by me being like isolated and a foster kid and a group home kid and all of these different things, I was always constantly running. So wherever felt the safest, that's where I landed. That's where I stayed. That's where I listened. And sometimes that's not always good. But, I mean, if we're not doing everything that we can, you know, because I'm not saying that you do all that you can and then it don't work and, you know, your kids still turn out to be a little menace. You still did your part. I'm just saying, do the best that you can as a parent because it definitely starts at home. It starts at home.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Nino Brown, root causes. No one comes out the womb violent. Talk to us about root causes.
I mean, so we at Healthy Hood, we talk about the fact that the system that we live under has a name, and its name is capitalism. Mm-hmm. And capitalism is based off of fierce competition and what we call artificial scarcity. You know, one of the earliest, I would say, introductions to violence that I remember in my young adult life was in 2007, 2008, when I think 90% of black wealth was wiped out across this country because of the economic crisis. And, you know, my mother, she was a nurse, did catering. My brother had a job. My stepfather worked in a hospital. But yet somehow, some way, Bank of America told us that you have to come up with $500,000 or we're going to repossess your home. And I began to think, like, how many jobs do you need to survive? Like, my mom has 2, my stepdad got 1, my brother got 1. Do I need to get a job? Right? And we don't talk about that as violence, but it is violence, right? Absolutely. In the United States, 40% of the food we produce goes to waste. And as an elementary school teacher, I can't tell you how many times I see kids coming into school hungry, and maybe they eat a bag of chips, and I don't know, continue to find energies to run. So I think the root causes really are in how our society is structured. Because it's not that we don't have the resources. It's not that we don't have even the ideas or the plans. We just lack the political will, right? We have the best minds, the best black and brown minds that have been coming up with violence intervention programs that address the root causes, but there's no political will from the political establishment to actually push what's working, what has worked. So I'll keep it brief. I would say that, you know, it's obviously, it's rooted in our system. It's kind of like we're fish in water. Right, the water is extremely violent, and I think we need to point that out so we can go from the macro to the micro so that it makes sense in relation to each other and not separate.
Thank you so much. Hey, we up on the break, everybody. Are you enjoying this? Are you learning something? Are they pouring out to you this morning? We appreciate you all. We're up for a break. Please look at the QR codes, because if you're enjoying yourself, we need your support too. Please support the National Rainbow Push Coalition by looking at the scan code. We do have some envelopes coming around as well. Thank you so much.
Equity, so that every child is guaranteed an opportunity to receive a quality education. We've awarded more than $10 million in scholarships year to date. And you can help young people achieve a higher education by donating to Push Excel right now. Wherever you are, you can support our students as we keep pushing for you.
Attention high school seniors and college freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. If you are in need of financial assistance, Push for Excellence offers a variety of scholarships for which you may be eligible to apply. Whether it's the Jesse Jackson Fellows Toyota Scholarship, the Cirillo McSween New York Life Scholarship, or the Oralee Sanders Scholarship, Push for Excellence strives to offer something for everyone. Here are just a few of our scholarship recipients.
Hello everyone viewing, my name is Chidi Osakwe.
Dominique Davis.
Julian Jones.
China Mazum.
Miles Cherubin.
Jalen Clark.
Marcus Anderson.
Jaden Reed.
Kara Young.
I'm Megan Chu and I'm a Cirillo McSween Scholar.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Rev. Jesse Jackson for all his support of my college education.
Thank you for all of Toyota for helping with Rev. Jackson with the scholarship as well.
I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to Rev. Jesse Jackson for helping to make the scholarship opportunity possible for me.
As appreciative as I was before, I'm even more grateful now having received this scholarship.
Not only has it helped me out financially with paying for tuition,
but it has also awarded me the opportunity to learn more about the Rainbow Push Coalition and their different initiatives in the African American community.
I'd like to say thank you to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition for all the generosity and support that they've shown me throughout my undergraduate career and for the opportunity to pursue higher education.
For more information, please visit our website at www.pushexcel.org and click on the word scholarships. Thank you, and keep hope alive.
National Rainbow Push Coalition. We have our special guest in the building. This is none other than the Pastor Charlie Dates family. He is the one that came up with this topic for today. Gotham City, or Golden Opportunity, rescuing our children from the violence. Won't you clap for Pastor Charlie Dates? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for having the vision for this to be a conversation, move to action. Please, for those who don't know, share who you are.
Well, thank you, Sister Africa, for the very kind and warm introduction. Let me say what an honor and a privilege it is to be here today and to be in the company of Reverend Jesse Jackson and Mrs. Jackson. This is to be able to walk the hallway with Reverend Jackson and to be able to come up into the room with him is a golden opportunity in and of itself. And although he's an Omega Psi Phi man, we don't hold that against him. He is, here we go. He is a living legend. And I just want to say we honor you and thank God for your leadership. So I grew up watching Batman, the old Batman with Adam West, and and what seemed like fiction on TV has become reality in real life. That Gotham City was a place plagued by senseless crime, but they had a hope. They had somebody that they could go to help rescue and redeem. I actually look at Alita as that kind of sister in our city, a hope figure that we can go to when we face trouble. But I think that hope is found in the very conditions that cause despair. Our world is tempted to fall apart when trouble seems to prevail. But the narrative that I want to introduce and promote is that it's when things are darkest that our greatest opportunity for seeing the brilliance of light actually comes through. So I don't know that we need to be taken by fear in our city so much as we need to see the opportunities that lay in front of us. You've been asking this question about root causes. I'm a pastor, a Christian pastor. I would be remiss if I did not say that black people by and large in America have never separated the theological from the anthropological. We've never made these lines between sacred and secular, as it were. Part of the challenge with our children is the challenge with me. We are born in what the Bible calls sin, shapen in iniquity. We come out with a bent, and the reality is, had it not been for the systems that introduced grace to me, my life would be just like many others that I read about and see. Here in Chicago, the Mount Calvary Baptist Church in the 80s, Dr. Donald Parson, they built the first African-American Christian school from the ground up. For whatever reason, in the providence of God, I was able to attend that school. That education, both academic and theological, oriented my mind toward the streets. It gave me a code of ethics. It helped me as I'm trying to help my children to discern right from wrong. The reality is, if you do not know the difference between right from wrong, your natural propensity is to choose wrong because it will please you every time. There has to be within the human heart, therefore, a restraint, a power greater than oneself. Even as a kid, and I'm not talking about as an adult, even as a kid, that gives you the ability to choose the right. So although I have an appetite for wrong, I have the ability to do what's right. We don't judge kids for having an appetite for what's wrong. I'm a grown man. I still got appetite for what's wrong. But the reality is I do not have to give in to that appetite. I have the ability to choose what's right. Whatever we do, from economic opportunities to educational opportunities to recreational provisions, we have to encourage our children to discern good from evil right from wrong. And that's why I'm here today, because I think the adults in this room have got to do the same.
Wow, we thank you so much. And thank you so much again for having the vision, because oftentimes we come in rooms and we talk about the problem. How many of us are tired of talking about the problem? Who's ready to get to the solution? I believe the solution lies right here within us, because we are our own solution. Pastor Dates, Englewood, Barbie, Nino Brown talked to us about economics and how economics plays a part. I remember some years ago going with the Pastor Meeks to do some walks all the way up north to Fennosworth, where the tax dollars are so different to Englewood. So if we understand economics, if you have $17,000 in Vernon Hills for per pupil, per student, and $700 in South Shore, that's a problem. That's violence. How do we connect those dots?
Well, since you brought up the educational system, I think it's worth noting that at least statistically, it reads as if we are as segregated academically as we were before Brown versus the Board of Education. That there is today, in 2024, something like 1954. Something's wrong in how our children are almost pre-selected for failure. Here's what I mean. If a boy or girl does not know how to read at the 3rd grade level, by the time they are at the 3rd grade, it's nearly impossible for them to catch up through middle school, junior high, and high school. They are consigned virtually to poverty. And the reason that they cannot know how to read by the 3rd grade, so we're not just talking phonics, we're talking comprehension, is because the system that's set up to fund their education, to situate them in schools with heat and safety and food and teachers with a quality education, is hell-bent toward destroying them. It's as if we need a new Brown versus the Board of Education. We need a new lawsuit to change the way education is funded in America. And when we do it, we have to know that the non-blacks and the non-browns will find private schools and other means by which to educate their children. It's the perennial sin in America. However, I think our civil rights organizations, our churches, our community organizations can do things like what we're trying to do at Salem and Progressive by getting 1,000 black boys to the 3rd grade reading level by the 3rd grade. I may not right now be able to change the funding formula, but I can pay some of our teachers during the summer to prevent that learning slide that happens with our boys and with our girls.
And we appreciate you. That racial achievement gap is real. Englewood, Barbie, you do a lot of work on the ground. On the ground. You know, day in, day out, you are feeding our people. Talk to us about the connection with violence and being houseless.
It's really a lot to unpack when you really think about it. You always hear about like all the systemic issues and this happened because of this. I feel like a lot of times we losing responsibility and accountability for the part that we play in it currently right now. Have you ever noticed how if you go to Rogers Park, you're not rolling over all them potholes as if you go on 66 and Justine, or you're in any part of the hood, it's a pothole big enough to tear your car up. The problem is because if we run over a pothole right now, we're gonna go to the nearest tire shop and get it fixed ourselves. If you go to the white neighborhood in Rogers Park, if they roll over a pothole, they're calling 311, 911, 611. They're calling the city. They're going to complain until something changes. They're going to be consistent. They're going to make sure it gets seen all the way through. They're going to cause the biggest noise, whereas all we do is complain. So people hate to hear that. You know, and it's like, for me, it's like I'm a solutions person. So I'm not even going to participate in nothing that doesn't end in a goal. Like, what is our goal? Like, okay, we're going to protest. We're going to shut this street down. What we doing tomorrow? Oh, nobody has no plans for tomorrow. We really have to be strategic about this. And we need to really think about what it is that we expect to get out of things that we are part of. So for me, like, I've been sleeping in a tent to raise money for my shelter for 123 days. Whereas The migrants been here under 123 days, and they had almost $200 million. I've been stuck at $80,000, and this is not like, oh, you know, donate to me. This is just me telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? We have to stop thinking that the man is coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. And a part of that is being accountable and responsible for the roles that we play out here. You can't call yourself a leader, and when it's people in your community suffering, you got a Benz and these kids walking around with no shoes on, or they got one sock on and ain't nobody said nothing to them, or you a pastor on this block. Not through, this is a good pastor, he baptized me. You a pastor on this block, but don't nobody from the community know who you is. That's why your congregation is so small. It's a liquor store and a church on every corner, but don't nobody know the owners. Don't nobody know the past. It's like, it's a problem. We always complaining about everything that we don't like, but who is willing to take that next real step? Those are the people that I want to be aligned with. I don't want to be aligned with the talkers. I want to be aligned with the movers and the shakers, the people that get things done. Because that's what our kids need to see. They don't need to see more black people just galvanizing to empower each other. They need to see us actually getting stuff done. They need to see results, because how we going to get them something to believe in if all we doing is talking about it and they can't actually put their hands on it? I think that for me, God is the only person that I believe in that I can't see. I don't think nobody else could trick me to believe in them unless they showed me something. Wow. So I feel like we need to be more adamant about showing the youth what it is to be successful. And that doesn't mean going and getting a big house and a nice car. Your success could be setting that little goal and accomplishing it.
Wow. Nino Brown, thank you so much, Englewood Barbie. You do a lot in terms of feeding people as well. Tell us about the Healthy Hood and how people can be more activated.
So in Healthy Hood, we have a fundamental understanding that our people have been existing on survival mode for far too long. And when you're existing in survival mode, you're just trying to make it from day to day to day to day, week to week, and you cannot think about politics, right? This is what the Black Panther Party taught us. The reason they created a free breakfast program was because children could not eat and they could not focus in school. And if you can't focus in school, I mean, you're kind of set up for success, set up for failure, right? We know in this country, I know at least Colorado and at least Pennsylvania did this at one point, where based upon 5th grade test scores, they would determine how many prison beds they would need to build, right? Because if a child is failing in 5th grade, in their mind, this is an economic opportunity, right? America is the land of big business, right? I mean, the land of the corporate wealth. So I think that when it comes to Healthy Hood, we do things like crime drought. We think we put these installations up in Englewood and Little Village and Pilsen and throughout disinvested communities, and we demonstrate to people this is what it feels like to have access to healthcare, access to free groceries. So I think that's some of the things that we do. I could talk a bit more, but
no, thank you
yeah,
so
I'll stop
much.
there.
This is Gotham City, your golden opportunity. We're up for another break, family. Thank you so much.
Push Excel's goal is to inspire students to strive for excellence in education in spite of personal, family, and community challenges that they might experience. How do we do this? By advocating for educational policies that guarantee equal funding for all students without regard to race or economic standing. By engaging parents, students, and teachers in pursuing high-quality education and striving for educational excellence at every level. And by forging partnerships with community-based and public sector stakeholders in education. Now, Push Excel is a national model program with the purpose of connecting principals, parents, popular personalities, and students in a bond and to support students at every level on the educational ladder. Now, we want you to become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition and Push Excel. Your annual membership can help us to change policies that impact students, colleges, and universities all around the country. So step up and sign up today. Membership is only $35, and if you're a student or a senior, $15. Just go to our website, rainbowpush.org, and push join to become a member or push donate to support the Push Excel program. You can also text the word Push Excel, that's PUSHEXCEL, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give us any amount that you feel comfortable giving or call us at 773-256-2775. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you. And remember to keep hope alive.
And we're back. We're live at the National Rainbow Push Coalition, Gotham City, or Golden Opportunity. Nino Brown, a lot of the work you do is on the ground. Tell us about the Healthy Hood and how more people can be acclimated.
So Healthy Hood, we're based out of Pilsen, Southwest Side, and one of the things I want to stress to folks is that while the work that we do takes place in a church, it goes beyond just the church itself. One program that we have is called Crime Drought. The idea is that what if there was a drought of crime, right? Who would lose? Who would stand to lose from crime declining in the city, right? The so-called criminal justice system, so-called correctional facilities that me personally, I have seen people go into prison nonviolent and come out of prison violent, right? I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if that's correction, but you know, that's up to you to decide. So with Crime Drought, what we do is we actualize our slogan that we got us. So we partner with some of our comrades, our friends, our family, our brother Dion's dream, being able to bring fresh food to people in areas that we have. People call them food deserts. We like to call them food apartheid, right? Because you know, a desert is actually more serene, and there's a whole. We don't want to disrespect our folks who have grown up around deserts. But anyways, point being, I give access people to healthy food, to medical screenings, and we also train them on how to carry out, young people, how to carry out some of these base level medical checks within their own families, because we know we cannot rely on the system that has been grinding us up to save us. So with Crime Drought, we went on tour last year. We went to several different areas across the city to show people this is what a different world could look like. Because you can talk to people about it, right? But we take our nodes from the Black Panther Party that people learn through observation and participation, right? People can see you taking the streets, they can participate in the future economy that we want to build. So that's one major thing. The other thing we do is that our people need healing. So we have Sunday sessions where we say, bring your worst self, and we know that there's a lot of church hurt. I grew up in the church, and there's definitely some church hurt, but where do people unpack it? Where are our young people unpacking and getting access to health care, to therapy, to mental health, to men's circles, right? I mean, I'm 33, and maybe I don't look it, but last year was the first year that I was able to actually sit in a circle with other grown Black men and talk about the problems that I have going on and actually build brotherhood, right? And that is that's a material force to ending violence, right? Because you cannot kill someone who you see as your brother. So we understand we have to get our people off of survival mode, right? 60% of Americans cannot afford an emergency. 60% of people in this country are living check to check, right? I mean, I would say raise your hand, but I'm not trying to embarrass nobody, right? So we focus on the economics and try to break down economics. It's not a bunch of variables. Economics is survival, right? Food, shelter, health. And from there, we move to the spirit through our Sunday sessions, through our healing sessions, so that people can have a revolutionary approach to their own spirituality and stop being their own obstacle.
No, that's huge. Thank you so much. Speaking of the spirit, and Pastor Dates, this is for you. What role do faith-based organizations and initiatives play in addressing youth violence in Chicago, and how can their impact be maximized? I know your goal is to reach 500 plus. How are we going to go about doing that? Because we're all going to support them, right?
Well, the mission of the church, as explained by Jesus Christ, is that the church's focus is always outward. It is missional. Any church that becomes all about itself ceases to be a church. I mean, we come up with other names, country club, fraternity, sorority, political action committee, whatever you want to call it, but it doesn't function as a church. So our efforts are aimed at the least, the lost, and the left out. Jesus says that when we see him, he will ask, or he will say, I was hungry, you did not feed me. I was naked, you did not clothe me. I was in prison, and you did not come to see me. That which we have done to the least of these, we've done also to him. That's a mandate. It's a portion of our core mission. And so how can churches do that? I think more churches, quite frankly, need a more aggressive, outward-facing ministry to find the real needs in the community and name them, and then determine which of our ministries are actually meeting those needs. And where there is no direct correlation, then those ministries probably need to disappear. The ministry of the church, however, is not simply just outward-facing. It is also internal development. I mean, the reality is we do violence to one another. I heard Nino talk about church hurt. I don't know nobody that's ever been to church for more than 5 years that ain't been hurt. All right. But I also don't know nobody who's been in a family for more than 3 years and ain't been hurt by a family member. We don't leave the family when a family member hurts us, however. Church is the place, for whatever reason, that people go, I can't do this anymore. They put up 2 fingers. When I could sit here right now and make the argument that every major advancement that has come for black people in America, from the abolition of slavery to the senators sent to Congress during Reconstruction, to the movement of the civil rights movement, the right to vote, to live wherever we want to live, the abolition of Jim Crow, even the pressing against the new Jim Crow, has been done primarily on the back of the black church. Not singularly, but primarily. That apologetic needs to be taught and propagated to our people, because the truth is, the church got soul for us. It has something more than political power. It has the ability to look at dogs and let dogs bite, and to push through nonetheless. And I think our children need that intangible, invisible power from God to face the forces that ail them today.
Wow. Thank you so much, and you're right. I always say, where will we be without the black church? Who are we without the black church? The black church has been that institution for us through generations, through time. Who are we without it? Englewood, Barbie, give us the scope for those who don't know. Day in, day out, you're out there. And how did you come to this being this person? There are people out there that want to get involved. They don't see themselves as, after they get off from work or working 2 jobs or being a parent and being in school also, how do you find the way to balance everything that you're doing? And where does that self-care fit in for you?
So it's not rocket science. It's just God. I have no way of telling you how I get up every day and be a mom and be a teacher and be a student and be a leader and be a follower. It's just him. Things that drop in my spirit, I pray about it first, and then I do it. You know, I spend a lot of time reflecting, right, on like the younger version of me. Oh, I'm getting emotional. I said I wasn't gonna do this. The younger version of me, and then I asked the version of right now, are you everything you needed growing up? And if you can answer yes, then you on the right path. And I have become everything that I needed growing up. But that's still not enough, because although my story was bad, just being who I am to the city and just to the world and to my children, I've seen worse. Yeah. So the work has to continue. So I'm not even here to tell y'all how to support me or the work that I'm doing, right? I'm here to encourage y'all to start y'all own. I'm here to tell y'all to do something. Don't look for an organization. I mean, and I do understand that everybody is not a leader. Some people need somebody to follow. Yes. But if you can do anything, do something outside yourself. That's what I would say. Because everybody has an organization or something you can support. But what is that one thing that you always wanted to do? What was your form of giving back? What was your form of reaching? Why did that elevator stop in the middle? Why did you get off? Get back on the elevator and go back to the top and send it back down for other people to come back up if they want to. Love it. That's my advice.
Nino Brown, what is that for you with everything that you're doing, you know, and the people that you're reaching? How do you reach more people and also find that balance and have some self-care for yourself?
Community, I would say, is a healing aspect for me. I think as Black people, we have been really alienated from the idea of community, collectivism. I mean, we like to think of ourselves as individuals, and I don't really believe that Black people, we can exist in this country as individuals. I was studying Malcolm X and this brother H. Rap Brown, who's now still incarcerated as a political prisoner, and he talks about the fact of how, you know, when we become so infected by the idea of individualism that we're moving through America by ourselves, but then when something happens to us, we're like, wow, this is happening to my people. This is happening to all of us. Now we're talking about we, right? And you know, to just build on Brother Malcolm's wisdom, he said, when we change illness, when we take the I out of things and focus on the we can move from illness to wellness. And for me, being a part of Healthy Hood, being around primarily other Black men that hold me accountable, right, that push me, that really want to nurture my spirit, and Black women as well, right, and people of all shades of and walks of life, but I'm saying primarily Black men because I think there's really a crisis of masculinity, and not in the ways in which it's popularly talked about, but a lot of our brothers are committing suicide. That's right. The thoughts don't come from anywhere. So for me, it's really been tapping into community and seeing community not as a noun, something that exists, but as a verb, something you're always building, pouring back into you, you're pouring back into it. So that for me, that's what I'm gonna say. Community and Black men circles.
Gotham City, golden opportunity. Go right ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't answer the second part. She talked about self-care. What is that? So I always tell people, like, I struggle with that. I do not have a balance in life and responsibilities. Everything that I do in my life is all equally important. Like, it's everything I do is a priority to me. That's my own sickness that I'm asking God to help me with. So as far as the self-care part is concerned, I have not figured that out yet, because for me, self-care is not going to get my hair done. That's maintenance. It's not going to get my nails done. That's something that I have to do. You know, that's something that I just like. That's not nothing that makes me feel less stressed. A self-care for me would be to tell you no and not feel bad about it. That's self-care for me, to really be able to unplug and not wonder, is the world still going to go on if I'm not helping? That's self-care for me. So I have not yet arrived to really experience what real self-care is. For me, self-care is doing absolutely nothing. I have not gotten to that point yet. I had heart surgery January 31st. It's just March. God is good.
God is so good, so good.
And I'm back to doing the work because I feel like when you waiting on God to do something for you, sometimes you have to sit back, you know, and I feel like because I don't take good care of myself, I had to sit down for that time period. But God knew that I wanted to be back out here. That's why he gave me a speedy recovery, and I'm back out here. Come on, and I don't take life for granted or my relationships. I don't take any relationships that I have for granted, because I believe that relationships are more valuable than money.
That's right.
A good relationship could get you in the door that money can't.
That's right.
So make sure when you're around people, you taking care of those relationships, you cultivating them, and you nurturing them, because that is the key to everything. It's not always about what you know. Sometimes who you know can be an asset to your whole life. So I have people in places that pour into me, that encourage me to pour more into myself.
Come on.
And it's crazy because when you out here doing the work, you was the last person that's thought about, even for yourself. As long as the mission is going and everything is thriving, you feel good knowing that you played a part in that. So it's not easy for us to be like, oh, I'm gonna take me some self-care today. Nah, we so stuck on how can I rest and this is going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like it's unfair, but we all do have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, because now I'm in a position where I'm able to tell people, if you're no good to yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself,
right,
how can you take care of anybody else? And my son told me, he made me make him a promise. When I got off bed rest, he was like, I hear you telling everybody you good, but I know that's not true. He was like, that's one of the things that hurts me the most, is that you don't take care of yourself. So I promised him that I would.
We love you so much, and we're so proud of you, and we thank God for you and your ministry. And just know that we have always been praying for you through the surgery. We all been watching, right, family? And we are cheering you on, and you already know we here. We family. Whatever you need, you reach out to us. She's out here doing the work, family. Just had heart surgery, and she's still here by the grace of God. Thanks be to God.
Still in my tent.
Still in the tent. Spent the night there last night, right? Come on now. Thank you. Sacrifices. Pastor Charlie dates. Self-care. Do you know what that word means?
Oh, yeah. I plan to run and not get weary, to walk and not faint. There is a rhythm with which the world is created. That is, 6 days God worked, 1 day he rested. He did not rest because he needed the sleep. He rested to enjoy his creation. I understand Sabbath to mean enjoying creation. I'm not sure what that is for everybody, but life needs that kind of rhythm. So I'm doing my best to model to my children who are here. I don't want to look at them because I'm sure I fail regularly at this, but a day a week to do nothing, and a month, or whatever I choose, a month a year to do the same. A rhythm, not necessarily having to hit it every time, but I think that's a beautiful picture of self-care.
Appreciate you. Gotham City or Golden Opportunity. Thank you all again for being here. If you're having a good time, won't you join us? Won't you look at the QR code and scan that and donate to Push today? Thank you so much. We're up for a break.
We're excited to get more people involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in impacting public policies, if you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, you can become a policymaker by becoming a member of Rainbow Push right now. For an annual membership of $35, or if you're a student or senior, $15, you can help us make a difference in the lives of millions. How do you become a member? Visit our website at rainbowpush.org and press join. Or maybe you'd like to support us. You can text the word PUSH, that's P-U-S-H, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give any amount you feel comfortable giving. You can also call us at 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and push donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
Gotham City or Golden Opportunity. There's a golden opportunity for all of us to be more involved. You all have heard our esteemed panelists talk about the work that they're doing on the ground. We want to know from you. We do have some questions here, and if you have any more questions, please give them to those standing around. We want to hear from you all at this today. Listen, the National Rainbow Push is going through a transition with the leadership of the great Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, who is in the building. And the inception of the great Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes stepping into the new Rainbow Push Coalition. We're so excited. We want to continue to bring in programming like this. We want to continue to bring in unique experiences like this. So we need your help. Please donate. Please share and comment on things that you want to see happen, presenters that you want to hear from. So we're open to that as well. I just want to make sure we made that announcement. Now, back to the action at hand. This is a tragedy. We are looking for action. Listen, Alita talked about the migrant issue. Some of us are on the fence about that because we have those that have been here laboring and houseless for a long time. But we have to care about the humanity of all of us. Is that right? We want to know from all of the panelists right now, you all have different walks of life. You all were chosen at this day and time to be here for a reason. What is it exactly that you want to give to the audience today in terms of real action? How can people right here in person and watching live become like more activated, like seriously, like some people really want to help, but they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. They just know their day to day, their every day, trying to make ends meet. How do we connect those dots?
Well, I mean, first I'm going to say that we are living in a very crisis-ridden time. And I believe what the brother over here said about crisis, there's a lot of opportunities in crises. And one of the main crises that we face right now is a crisis of political legitimacy. We know that the Democratic National Convention is coming to Chicago, the great city of Chicago, right? And we know that we are beset by migrant crisis, homelessness crisis, and the general crisis of crime, right? So what, we are proposing is for us to, instead of having to beg our politicians, instead of having to grovel and to continue to lobby and what have you, the things we've been doing, I think what we need to do, what we'd like to propose is to build our own convention, right? A people's national convention where we can actually give manifestation to our desires, right? Because if the political establishment is not gonna register what we are saying and demanding and deliberating on, then we need to do our own, right? That's what, we were taught by our brother Malcolm, by the Panthers, by Shirley Chisholm, by so many others. We need to build our own power. So I would say tap in with Healthy Hood. Every Sunday, we have our Sunday sessions, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Right now, we have Brother Abel from the Nation of Islam talking to us about the importance of Ramadan, right? The holy month of Ramadan and how we can really save our spirits so that we can fight the battle outside, right? Because these issues, they're not going to go away. The crisis of migration, I mean, people have been migrating to this country for hundreds of years, right? And we know that the sanctions, the things that we are doing to these other countries that are forcing people to come here, that is the root cause. You cannot put a Band-Aid over a shotgun wound, right? And then say, why is there still blood? So what we're proposing is that the solutions exist amongst the grassroots communities, the grassroots organizations, right? What we need to do is to bring them together to a summit so we can create an agenda that actually puts pressure, right? And to move from thought to action.
Thank you so much. Englewood Barbie.
Honestly, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. All right. So for me, like I said, while I'm up here, I represent an organization. I don't want to talk about my organization. I want to talk about what you guys can do. Share resources. Everybody in here is somebody to somebody. I don't care who you comparing yourself to. You know somebody that I don't. A lot of times we are stuck because of the people that's around us aren't willing to help us, that look just like us. So I would say, be more open to being nice. I don't want to say come outside and feed the friends with me. I do that every day anyway. That's all I do. This is an opportunity for me to actually pour into y'all and encourage y'all to, if y'all see something that y'all like, be more like that.
That's right.
If y'all pull inspiration from anybody, be like that. Like, be nice, be kind. When you see somebody in line and they struggling, looking for some change, put the dollar on the counter for them. Tell them don't worry about it.
That's right.
Bring people back to knowing that humanity exists. It's not dead. People I'm so sick of everybody saying I hate Chicago. I hate the people and the way that they think that are living here in our city. So you have to tap in. We got to tap in. We got to tap in with each other. And that's all I got to say. I want y'all to share y'all resources. If you are an organization that's been around for a long time and y'all see somebody up and coming, show them the ropes. It's free for you. Just help them. Help somebody.
Yes. Thank you, Pastor.
I'm honored again to be here with you, Nino, with you, Sister Africa, and Alita. Thank you all for having me. I would say I think we need to re-energize Rainbow Push. I think that, and I think part of the brilliance of an organization like this is, well, number one, we need organization, but a coalition. That is to say that Alita should not have to do what she does alone. Nino should not have to do what he does alone. I should not. Where we agree, we should be able to come under one general umbrella, find covering and wisdom to push forward. I would also say that we are so in search of perfection that we do not celebrate the good. I don't know that any one of these organizations is perfect. We can be good with good, where we agree. I understand that today, all of you have done this. You've done the right thing today by being here. This is session 1 of 3 in succession. The next will celebrate, I think, the 56th year that Dr. King was tragically taken from us. And we need to be back in this space, larger, bigger, until we coalesce together as a coalition. Chicago has a number of brilliant, smaller factions. It'd be great if we could link arms. That's my recommendation.
Amazing, amazing. Please, I love what you said. That was amazing. And PUSH is our institution that we need to continue to serve and support and donate. Help PUSH before you need help from PUSH. Remember that? Yeah, Gotham City or Golden Opportunity. I have a question. How can we unite all the organizations in this city of Chicago?
It's not going to happen.
I was about to say, yeah.
It's not going to happen because it's ego. Ego is involved. And a lot of times people don't want to do anything that they didn't spearhead. If they can't, and that's so sad that people love attention more than success, you know, and people think that having a lot of attention is success, when really that's all it is, and people get stuck there. So the reality of it is, all you can do is galvanize the like-hearted individuals like yourself and be consistent in whatever work y'all choose to do together. And hopefully the world catch on. But you can't spend a lot of time saying, oh, I need to work with them. I feel like if we get together, we could be, that's cool. I'm gonna do this work, you're gonna do your work. I hope that we could come together. I'm gonna pray on it. But it might be a reason that we don't all need to be together. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like that's a bad thing. I feel like as long as everybody is doing their part, we're doing the work. We don't always have to be under one umbrella, because I'm telling you, like, in order to go higher, sometimes you got to isolate and be separated from other entities and everything that you attach yourself to. It might look good, but they might be the organization that bring you down. So you got to kind of ask for discernment, and it's not going to happen as far as like every organization in Chicago.
Thank you so much. Yeah. We are up for a break.
Sorry.
Oh, we are closing. Pastor Dace, did you want to close us out?
Well, I would say that where we can agree, we need a common agenda so that everybody can maintain their individuality and autonomy. I want to be clear in that regard. But we need a black agenda in Chicago. 6, 7 things that our voting bloc is interested in. And hopefully those are things that we can strive for together. We can agree on a common agenda and make it happen.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you all. Thank you all. Gotham City or Golden Opportunity. Please support PUSH. We need your support. We need to hear from you. Donate now. The QR code is on the screen, and there are envelopes on the tables. Thank you so much.